all I want to do is help the team win. And for me, if that's scoring goals, then I'm happy to do that. And if it's working really hard, then that's the job I have to do. But for me, I just wanted to add to already a great team and a great club.
What's up, Union fans? Welcome back to the DOOP presented by Subaru, the Philadelphia Union's podcast that helps our fans get to know who their favorite players are on and off the pitch. I'm Sage Hurley. Over there, we have Mark Evans.
What's up, Sage?
And today, we have Milan Iloski here on the podcast. Thanks for spending time with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So on our podcast, we typically have questions from our fans submitted through Instagram, and we keep them till the end. But today, there was a question asked by someone you know very well, and it triggered a little bit of a history lesson. So I figured we'd start the show with it.
Oh, he's nervous. He's nervous.
This is a crucial piece of knowledge to have as part of the club. At Brian Iloski wants to know, what does DOOP mean?
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I think it's just something that the fans do to celebrate when we score a goal and the DOOP song comes on. That's pretty much all I got, to be honest.
It's a great start.
Okay.
So Mark Evans over there, he's actually our vice president of season ticket and premium sales, and he's been here since the club first started. So I figured he would be the best person to give a good explanation of what a DOOP is for you, your family, and for people who might be watching that don't know what DOOP means.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty much right. Our very first coach, Peter Novak, back in 2010, came from, don't quote me on which league it was. It was either the German league or the Polish league. They played it at a stadium over there, same way that we do. He brought it over here. It's a song that is like an actual full-length heavy metal song by a band named Scooter. The song is called Maria, I Like It Loud, and the chorus, it sounds like they're saying DOOP. So that just became like a brand thing from pretty much the first year.
I feel like that's something I shouldn't know, without
correct.
being here for the club.
Well, Sage had no idea. Yeah. She's been here longer.
I mean, I knew the song was called Maria, I Like It Loud,
Yep.
but I didn't know when the song was first introduced to the club.
Yeah.
That's why we have OGs like you.
That's right. Yeah, no, it was literally from, he came in, and I guess when we were putting everything together the first season leading up to 2010, he wanted that as our goal song, and it stuck. It's not my genre of music, so I would never have heard it either. But yeah, it's been pretty popular ever since.
I mean, I kind of love it.
Yeah, well, of course, now we love it. The Flyers stole it for a while, and now the Indianapolis Colts have stolen it. They play it
that's
after touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, they might not have stolen it from us per se, but yeah, they both do.
Now, you've only been here for a short time, and you've made that ring throughout the stadium twice now, once in MLS play and once in Open Cup play. Really hot start for you. What was it like hearing that song and hitting the back of the net at Subaru Park for the first time?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I hope I can keep making that song go off. But no, it's, for me, I think it's cool that when clubs have traditions like that, and, anything that I can do to help the fans get up and, help create this really good atmosphere that helps the team, I'm going to do. So, it's cool to have a one after we score goals. And, like I said, I hope I can do it plenty more times.
Now, I can imagine it's been a little bit of a whirlwind couple of weeks for you. What has this first stretch in Philadelphia been like?
Yeah, it has. It's been exciting. It's been, it does move really fast. I was in Denmark, and then, I came over on a plane, and then I was playing a game a few days later for the Union. So it has moved really fast, and, I have started off well, but, for me now it's about settling into the team, going into the next game, and just continuing the form I'm in, and, improving every week, getting to know the guys better every day, which always helps. And for me, that's the biggest thing, and really putting myself in the team and in the locker room. And, I've really enjoyed my first couple weeks here and can't wait for the future.
Now, you mentioned getting to know the guys a little bit better, and that's not a hard thing to do here because there's a lot of personalities in that locker room, and this year's coaching staff has implemented a lot of things off the field, like something you had today, to kind of make that team bonding atmosphere and create that brotherhood. today you had a inspirational speaker come in to the annex and meet with you all. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was amazing. We had a guy from a special forces unit come in and speak to the team about teamwork, and it also I think puts into perspective what we do. We all love what we do, and our job's really important, but there's people out there who do some crazy things, and being able to take someone like that who's had some pretty impressive real world experiences, and being able to speak to him and get inside his brain a little bit and pick it as much as we can, because if anyone knows anything about teamwork and working together, it's someone like that. And so for us, it definitely helps us gel together as a team more, and definitely helps the camaraderie on the pitch and also off it, to get closer and ultimately to help us get closer to achieving our goals.
So you joined a team that's having incredible success this season. There's 3 trophies on the line: MLS Cup, Open Cup, and Supporter Shield. You're joining a group that had the success early on in the season. It's a little bit late in the year. What has it been like for you to kind of jump into that? And what is that process like for a new player to get all that information so quickly and start to integrate?
Yeah, it's been crazy. I think I wanted to come to a good team, of course, and just so happened that the team I came to was on top. And it's nice to feel like I'm adding something to that. I didn't want to come in and create any problems in the locker room or create any rifts, but I also had to be myself, and I think I've done a good job of that, and all I want to do is help the team win. And for me, if that's scoring goals, then I'm happy to do that, and if it's working really hard, then that's the job I have to do. But for me, I just wanted to add to already a great team and a great club.
So how did this move to Philadelphia come to be?
Well, as soon as I left, or I knew I was leaving San Diego and things didn't work out there contractually, and I knew I was going to go back to Denmark because my club was in Denmark, and I was obligated to go back there. But I always knew I wanted to come back to MLS, but I never really shopped around, to be honest. So once the things with San Diego were looking like they were going down a bad path, I started to look at some clubs, and of course Philly is one of the best ran clubs in the league every year. And I think even though I was on the West Coast and been in Europe for a few years, it's pretty well known, I think. So it was definitely one that I was interested in. And once I heard the interest was mutual, and then I took a little bit more of a deeper dive, it was pretty clear that it was going to be, one of my top choices. And then as things, started to come together, it was a clear top choice for me. And I'm just really happy it all worked out, and things ended up working out perfectly for me, to be honest. I'm really happy to be here and joining a great club, a great team, a great coaching staff. So in the end, for me, it all worked out really well.
When you were having those first conversations with Ernst Tanner and Bradley Carnell, what were those conversations like? And was there anything that stood out to you about this club and what they're hoping to achieve this year that made you say, hey, that's really where I want to be?
Yeah, of course. Every player wants to win. And I think when you speak to a, general manager, sporting director, and you speak to the head coach, you want to feel that. And I could definitely feel that the club has big goals, big aspirations. They want to win. They want to win every competition they're in, and it's realistic to do that. So, that was definitely something that I loved. I love to win. I'm an athlete. I'm very competitive. I grew up in a very competitive family. So, when I spoke to them a bit about the training, the habits, things like that, and the first words that they were saying was how competitive it is, how intense it is, how much they really value training, and how that goes over into the matches. To me, that was perfect. I grew up with 2 older brothers who both played, and my dad also played. So my whole family's from athletes. My mom did track, my little sister did college volleyball. So we're competitive people. And for me growing up, I was the little brother to 2 older brothers, so I did have to fight maybe a little bit harder. So I think it was a good match after hearing that from them, and I think my first meeting with them.
Head coach Bradley Carnell, he told a couple people after your first training session in Philly that you said, wow, is this really what training is like every single day? Because the intensity was there. Is that a true story?
Yeah, no. My first day, I think there was 1 or 2 fights in the training, and I was like, what? I didn't know if it was my fault. I didn't know if it was normal. And he's like, no, this is normal. Like, this is, it's not fights like people going to blows and stuff, but it is super competitive, and it's very intense. And I think that's the bare minimum here, which I love. I think that's every successful team needs to have that. So the first day I was a little bit like, whoa, but then now it's normal, and now I'm in it, and I have to compete at the same level that everyone else is, or I won't play, and I came here to play and to win. So I think that's definitely what brings the team so much success.
It's probably why there's so many matches this season where at the end of the match there's a goal scored by Philadelphia Union in the last couple of minutes that sends them to get all 3 points or get a result.
Yeah,
that competition.
For sure. I mean, that has to add to it, right? I mean, those good teams that have that high press that you guys obviously do, and you do it a lot, it pays off. And you guys got to be energetic, and obviously you are in the practice field. So
we're talking a lot about soccer, but we want to know about you. You mentioned that you grew up with a lot of siblings, big family, a lot of sports being played. What's your first memory of playing soccer when you were a little kid?
My first memory, probably playing at Kit Carson Park. It's this like park in the city I'm from, Escondido, a little town inside of San Diego, and it's right. It's across the street from where I went to high school. It's maybe 5 minutes from my house. So yeah, I played indoor there. I played on a team called Little Hulks. We were called, and my brother Eric and one of my best friends Connor Ryan, that we played on the same team, and my dad was the coach, and my friend Connor's dad was the other coach. And I was 3, but I was, crying and begging to get on the field. So, that's probably one of my first memories is playing in that little indoor league and running around there in Kit Carson Park.
3 sounds crazy. So I watched the pod that you did with San Diego FC this morning, and you said 3, and I've got a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old at home, daughters. I could not fathom. Like, now they're starting to get into it, but like at 3, that's young.
I loved it. I mean, maybe it was because my dad played, and we grew up going to watch his, his men's league games, and and then I also had 2 older brothers who both played, and I loved it. That's all I ever wanted to do. So
just wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah, I just wanted to be involved, and seeing them do it and seeing them be able to play, it was that's what I wanted to do, and nothing's really changed since then.
Do you think having those older brothers forced you to get competitive, get physical, and made you a better player early on?
Yeah, I had to. My dad always said when we would always play in the backyard or something, like 2 against 2, and I'd be with my dad, and he'd like keep the game close on purpose when we were little kids, of course, and he'd always tell me if I played the way I played against them, then I'd be one of the best in the world, because I had to run around, I had to kick them, I had to be the dirty little brother who was doing all the dirty tricks to try and win, because I wanted to win, and I think my dad probably, looking back, secretly loved that. But yeah, I had to. I mean, I was much smaller, much younger, so I had to find ways to be creative and to win.
Now, all of your brothers, you all played college soccer at UCLA, correct?
Yeah.
That's pretty unique. What was that experience like for the 3 of you, and when did you all realize that, hey, this is something that we can maybe all do together?
Yeah, my brother Brian was going into his senior year, and we never thought it would be possible, because he's 4 years older than me, and almost 3 years older than my other brother Eric. And then Eric actually decided to take a gap year and go into the residency academy at Real Salt Lake with me. So we ended up moving out to Casa Grande, Arizona, and then I was kind of in between. I always wanted to be a pro, so I was thinking about turning pro early and not doing college. And my brother Brian was thinking about also turning pro, and then he ultimately decided that he was going to go back to UCLA for his final quarter to complete the fall season. And my brother Eric decided to also go to UCLA. So then I was in this really unique position where I wasn't committed anywhere, and it was coming down to the wire. But I thought it was an unbelievable chance, an opportunity for us. We got to live together in a 1-bedroom apartment in LA, which is was a lot of fun. And
all 3 of you lived together?
Yeah, we all
No
lived
way.
together. Yeah, we lived we put up some me and my brother Eric lived in this tiny room where our beds were like basically touching, and my brother Brian lived in our living room. We put some curtains up, and it was LA, and we don't have money, so we were trying to figure out, like, we just needed to find the cheapest place. That's what everyone had to do, pretty much. And so yeah, that was the life, and we had a blast. We loved it. We're very close. We're much more than brothers. I lived with my brother Eric up until I was 20 years old in the same room. We had bunk beds as kids at the Salt Lake Academy. We were in the same room. It's kind of like a dorm setup. And then in college, same thing until I turned pro and moved out to Utah. But yeah, I think going to UCLA was an unbelievable experience for me, and I love it. I try to go back every time I can. I love the campus. I loved my time there, and I still go back and train in the off seasons because my girlfriend at the time was living in LA, so it was an easy outlet for me to also use.
We have a Philadelphia Union Academy graduate who just started at UCLA this year. So he's playing soccer there right now. Zach Mastrodimos, shout out. So he just started. So when you were there, that had to be pretty special for your family as well, to have you all in California and to be able to see all of you play together.
Yeah, it was. I think it was probably something that like we didn't think it was possible. So I think for us we were very grateful to have it. And like talking to Quinn and Kevin now, I can kind of feel like some similarities there where they're doing it on a professional level, so it's even crazier. But yeah, we were doing it at a college level and we loved it. It was so fun. So it was definitely something that we were really proud of and we took a lot of pride in, and we're so grateful for those memories, and we still talk about it today when we come all together for Christmas or whatever holidays we're able to all come back together. We still talk about those memories that we made at UCLA.
Your soccer journey from UCLA to now, where were the steps that you had to take to get to the success that you found in Major League Soccer?
Yeah, it's been pretty wild ride, to be honest. I came out as a pretty high recruit. I thought I was going to play a lot right away. I went to Salt Lake. I think everyone has the impression that they're going to go and play right away and kill it, and that was also what I thought. And everyone's probably told that when you're young, that you're coming here to play. You're not, all that. So, but anyways, I went to Salt Lake on a homegrown contract because of my time from the academy, and yeah, I did preseason. I thought I did really well. I scored a bunch of goals against some MLS teams, against some USL teams, and then I didn't make the first bench, the first roster, which for me at the time was like, of course you go through the mindset of what am I doing here, all that. You're a kid really, so it was tough. And then COVID happened. So then COVID happened right away after maybe I think there was one MLS match, and then COVID happened.
One. Yeah, one.
I think like we were planning on, if I remember right, Salt Lake, we were going to Columbus and the trip got canceled, and they were like, just stay in your house. We were like, what in the world? And I was alone. I just moved away from home. I never lived ever without my brother Eric, without family somewhere near. So it was really tough on me. And we all thought it was going to be a couple days or something. Ended up being this whole, everyone knows now, COVID, what it was. And I had to drive back to San Diego from Utah. So I did that drive by myself and just got back home because no one knew when the end was coming. It was just this big, big mess. So ended up completing that season in the bubble or whatever. And that was, we had to do that down in Orlando. And then did my second season again, not really playing a lot. There was problems being able to play with USL teams because of COVID still. And I wasn't allowed to train with them. So I would show up on a Sunday night playing the game, and I didn't know I was playing till Sunday at noon or something, and that's not easy to do for someone in a team sport. But I got through it the best way I could, and those experiences I think were really hard, but they definitely gave me a lot of thick skin and made me work really hard and really appreciate what I do. And so from there I went to Orange County in USL. I decided to go there. I think everyone would consider it a step down going into USL from MLS, but I really just wanted to have fun and get back to loving what I did. And I didn't have fun playing soccer when I was in Salt Lake. I was not playing games, just training all the time and being left out of stuff, and it wasn't enjoyable. And so I actually joined my brother Brian at Orange County and, got back close to home. And, I loved it. It was amazing. It was exactly what I was looking for. It was a really close brotherhood of a team. And, I met some amazing people there, and I really loved my time there. And, I spent 2 seasons there, and then got sold to FC Nordsjælland in Denmark, where, I had another big challenge in front of me. And, it wasn't easy right when I got there, but ultimately I think I earned a lot of respect in that club and in that part of the world. And, it was an experience I always wanted. I wanted to go to Europe and play in Europe, and I went to a great club. And then, I was able to get the loan to San Diego and, come back, and that kind of came out of nowhere also. So, but it was a great experience, and, I loved my time in San Diego, and, a lot of great friends I have on that team that I met back in Denmark, and, it was amazing to represent the city. But ultimately, it led me to here, and, now I'm excited for this next chapter, and you never really know what can come.
You mentioned a couple days ago after the match that there was a point in your journey where you weren't sure if you wanted to continue to pursue playing professionally. How did you get to that point, and was there a moment that kind of clicked that made you think, hey, I do want to continue doing this?
Yeah, I wasn't happy, and for me, I never want to. I'm a very happy person. I like to interact with people. I like to have jokes and enjoy my time. And for me, I was not in a happy place, and I worked my whole life to get to the spot of being an athlete, and I wanted this to be my job. I thought it would be the best job in the world, and it was really tough, and I had not many highs. I had a lot of adversity. It was a lot of lonely nights, and then you also aren't playing. You're not involved. You don't really feel like you're a part of a team when you're the young guy and you're not playing, and it's not easy. And then you mix that in with I have a whole new environment, new people. I didn't know anyone in Utah when I moved there, so it wasn't easy. And then I talked to my mom. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. I'm like, I wasn't happy. I finished my degree because of COVID, so I ended up graduating from UCLA. So it was almost like I could just start fresh and be done with soccer and move on and get a normal job using my degree and do what everyone else was doing. All my friends also completed their 4 years at UCLA, and they all moved on, and they were all getting jobs. They all seemed happy, and I was like trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And a lot of people don't know I was just living at home. I got rid of my apartment in Utah because I knew I wasn't going back, and until you find a team, I was living in my parents' house, like trying to figure out what to do. And she was like, no, like stick with it. Like you love what you do. And I had some like clubs calling from MLS who wanted me to come on trials and wanted me to sign maybe like a minimum deal, and I knew I would just fall back into that same pattern of not playing and being the guy on the bottom of the roster who had all these uphill battles he had to fight through. And she told me, just you need to get back to loving it. And that's when my brother Brian, he was like, why don't you just come play at Orange County? And he was like, I know the money won't be better. I know you're not playing in big stadiums and in beautiful environments, but you'll play and you'll like the guys on the team, and we'll have a good time no matter what. And he was right. We did. It was a blast. I loved it. Yeah, I'm really grateful to that club for the opportunity they gave me, and the people there. I met some amazing people, and the experiences I had with my brother also brought me a lot of joy. And I really got back to loving soccer, and I think that's definitely stayed with me, and that's probably why I feel so grateful to be here and to keep playing, because for me it was almost done, and I was thinking about just getting a normal job and being a normal guy, and now I get to play in front of amazing fans every week and sold out stadiums, and it's definitely something that I thought would never come. So I'm very grateful for every minute I get, and I'm just happy to be here.
So with that said, there had to be some nerves then going over to Europe to play, right? Like going to you finally got comfortable, you're enjoying it again. Who then makes that phone call? Like, I assume you're going through your agent at that point, and he's looking for different clubs all around the world, or how does that shake out?
Yeah, I was actually with another agent, and he wanted me to stay in MLS, and so I fired him actually. And so that's part of the life, and that's part of the stuff people don't realize. I was a kid, I wasn't, and I had to make that call, and that's a tough thing to do when you're young and you don't really know anything, to be honest. You're kind of just winging it. Yeah. And I had a coach at Orange County, Morton Carlson, who he really liked me as a player, and also I think my mindset and the way I went about things. So he, made some calls back in Denmark for me. And ultimately I ended up signing with the agent that represented him, and he, backed me to some clubs. And then, of course, they did their due diligence and came and watched me and did all of that. And, it just worked out. But I was also the kind of person where I didn't want to just, be average and kind of just stay where I'm comfortable. And, I wanted to really chase goals, and I knew that if I went to a club like Northland, which was considered, I think, a really big step from Orange County, and I got there, and there was big players in the team, and there was players, getting sold for a lot of money. There was a really high level, and but I wanted that challenge, I wanted that adversity, and I knew that I was the kind of person there where my mindset had shifted completely to the kid that got to Salt Lake and was probably scared and nervous and didn't really know what to do. And my mentality now was any challenge that gets put in front of me, I'm just going to go through it with everything I have. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But to me, it almost felt like I had a second lease a little bit on my career. Like I was kind of in my head like, all right, I'm done with this. I'm fed up. And then when I did really well at Orange County and scored a bunch of goals, and now everyone's calling you and wants you all of a sudden, to me, it was like, this is all a bonus now. So I'm just going to go through it 100% and give everything I have. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And, I think that mindset and that mentality is still with me 100%. This is a new challenge now and a new opportunity, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go through it with everything I got, and hopefully it goes really well, and I can score a bunch of goals and we can win some trophies here. That's my goal, and that's what I want to do. But it's a new set of challenges now for me, and it's something that I'm going to take with everything I got.
When you have moments like the one you did early on in this season when you scored 4 goals in one game, and then you come here and you immediately make an impact, is it hard to wrap your head around that you were going to almost give this all up?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I was like fed up in my head a little bit, but I loved it so much, and that was probably the most frustrating part. Was I was in Salt Lake and I was so miserable, but I loved it more than anything, and it was almost like why is this not working out for me? I almost loved it too much, to be honest. Like it was probably like not right, and of course now I look at it and I'm really grateful that my mom kind of gave me some advice. My brother Brian came to me and was like had this idea, and it all worked out for the best because I think if I would have given up, I would have probably always thought, what about this or what about this? What could have happened if I would have stayed? You just never know. And so for me now, I'm, so grateful that I have amazing people in my life. I have a great family and, a really good, close-knit group of friends who really support me and, have driven me forward through some really tough times. But, in the end, I still look at it like it's just soccer. And I love it so much, and it's the best thing in the world. I love it every day. I will sleep at the club if I could. I love it to death. But, ultimately it's just soccer at the end of the day, and I'm going to continue to give everything and push through everything. And, ultimately for me, it's about chasing down dreams and, achieving as many goals as I can now.
And there's always some highs and lows through a season. Is there anything that you do to get your mind off of the sport? Because it seems like it consumes most of your thoughts. Is there anything that you do to unwind off the pitch and off the campus?
Yeah, I love to golf. I think for me that's a big outlet to get away. And I'm also not the kind of person who can just sit inside and play video games all day. I've never been like that. Even as a kid, I was always running around and being crazy. So I can't sit inside and watch movies all day and play video games. So for me, being out in nature and escaping a little bit, and anyone who plays golf knows if you're not focused and like thinking about what you're doing in that moment, you're going to be a disaster. So, it does take my mind completely away from soccer, and it allows me to fully escape but still be outside in nature and, being able to be calm and relax and think about other things.
I saw you were a +1 handicap?
At one point, yeah. I'm about
not anymore.
I'm about like a 2 now.
I mean, so you're playing a lot.
Yeah, I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Have you played around here? Do you have your clubs here yet?
I have not. I have my clubs now. My parents came out a few days ago and gave my clubs here, so I have them now ready to go. I just moved to my apartment, so I'm looking around some courses now to try and get out.
Do you have any courses that you definitely want to hit?
Yeah,
Do you have any recommendations?
Around Mink?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of golf, so I know about all the legendary courses.
Around here, there's so many.
There's so many great courses that are, within an hour drive, so I'm really excited, looking forward to it. I want to play all of them, so, of course, the priority is soccer, so I'm not going to go out on a Friday and play golf the day before a game, but on days off and things like that, I'll have a look around and try and play as many as I can.
There's no games next weekend. You might be able to get some of your teammates to go out there.
Something tells me they're not at that 2 handicap level from the conversations we've had, but
they might think they are, but they're
not. That's fair.
No, maybe.
Don't believe them if they say that. There's way.
There's a few of them that have said they play, right? So
yeah, some guys have said they play and they really enjoy it. I think they've all said like they're pretty new to it, but yeah, I think there definitely is a little group that play.
I think it was a big thing last year.
I remember it was a big thing last year, and we've got our. If you guys aren't training on the 8th, we've got our DOOP Cup golf outing here at Rolling Green, which is another really nice course here in the area. Got to figure that out as well.
It's a golf tournament they do every year, and there's like a trick hole.
It's not a trick hole. We try to have this hole. It's like waste management. So we have like 50, 60 staff members, fans, and stuff like that are there just having a fun time.
That's fun.
Ringing cowbells.
Having some alcoholic beverages.
I'd love to go. I mean, I don't know my schedule on the top of my head, but...
Yeah, I think we've talked about it. If the team doesn't train that morning, that we'll see if anybody wants to come out.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, I'm not sure. I'll have to take a look, but I'm in.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
So you also mentioned your pots and pans are coming in today. Are you a big chef?
I wouldn't say big chef. I don't mind cooking. My girlfriend's a great cook, so that's great. But I will cook. I'm very happy to, and I love food. So I think moving to Denmark, that was one thing. One of the things I wanted to move to Europe. One of the reasons I wanted to move to Europe was because of, the different cultures and stuff. So I definitely learned more about fine dining, and I have some old teammates who are probably more to thank for that. But so I do enjoy cooking. I enjoy the simplicity of it, but also how it can become very complicated and a little bit of like an art. So, but my girlfriend's a great chef, and I'm, I guess, not too bad myself.
So then that means you've had to try quite a few places around Philadelphia before you started to get your kitchen in order. Have you had any favorite spots so far?
Yeah, I've tried a lot. Tallulah's Garden, I think, was one of my favorites. I like that one a lot.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Of course, Park. Everyone loves Park, though, so I feel like that's a pretty basic answer.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's an
Classic.
easy answer.
But I haven't had a Philly cheesesteak yet, which is
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I just, I can't believe I haven't. I'll probably go in today, to be honest.
You should.
Yeah, I really should. So that's probably next up on my list.
Okay, so that's one thing on your list. Do you have any other bucket list Philly things you want to do?
Yeah, I want to play Marion Golf Club. I don't
Back
know.
to the golf.
Yeah,
Back to the
I really
golf.
want to play there. What other things? I don't know, to be honest. I mean, one thing I really want to do is like get into the history of Philadelphia. I love history, and that was one thing I loved in college and growing up. And I love to like expand my brain to learn new things. So that's one thing I really want to do now that I'm kind of settled in is go see some museums, go see, really feel some of the history that Philadelphia has.
See, when Jovan signed with the team, we brought him on a historical Philly bus tour, but I think you would appreciate it a little bit more than he did.
Yeah, he probably didn't know what was happening.
No idea.
No, he was really
Yeah.
confused by everything was named Ben Franklin.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, so he was pretty confused, I bet.
Yeah, definitely. There is a lot of history in Philadelphia and a lot of different places to check out. What did you know about Philly as a city before you got here? Had you ever visited before you signed?
No, I didn't. To be honest, I didn't spend too much time on the East Coast before I got here. I love sports, so I knew about like the Eagles, 76ers. So I am a big sports guy. So I'm pretty into American football, especially. So for me, I knew the Philly sports fans were very well known throughout the country as being pretty rowdy and pretty crazy. So I was really looking forward to that.
Are you a Chargers guy?
No, not anymore. I was. I mean, everyone from San Diego was. You had to be. Like, I wasn't going to go root for someone else.
You had to ditch them.
But yeah, they left us, so they went up to LA, and now I'm a free agent, I guess. I have a fantasy football team.
So that's really more what you care about as players.
Yeah, my girlfriend's whole family's from Minnesota, so I go to some Vikings games every offseason when I go back there.
There you go.
But yeah, I would consider myself a free agent team-wise.
So you
That's
could
good
become
to
an
know.
Eagles fan.
I don't know if I'd become an Eagles fan, to be honest. I can't now because they're the best and they won, so I don't want to be the guy who moves to Philly and all of a sudden is like an Eagles guy wearing an Eagles jersey.
Right.
That is every single person on the Philadelphia Union's team with the exception of Kevin, Quinn, and Frankie.
Yeah, but like someone like Jovan or these guys, they don't know what they're looking at or what they're watching. They're just going to the game and trying to feel the atmosphere. But I actually kind of know what's going on, so I can't.
Well,
jump
neither
on that
did
bandwagon.
Mikkel when he got here from Denmark, but now I'm pretty sure I saw a picture of his little cute blonde baby girl wearing an Eagles gear, and they didn't know anything about it a couple years ago.
But that's I think his point, that they didn't know anything about it. Milan does, and he's got that history.
Yeah.
I guess you're right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, quite a few of our fans actually asked where your NFL allegiances lie, but you kind of cleared it up a little bit. But I guess we'll get to the rest of the questions from the fans.
Well, hold on. I've got a question.
Okay.
You're a fantasy football guy.
Yeah.
It's fantasy football season. Do you guys have a league within the team?
We do.
Have you drafted yet?
No, we have not. We actually are getting the order tomorrow, so we'll go from there.
We did our front office one last night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sage, you should tell him about how your draft went. I heard it was a little suspect. I'm not in that one.
I can't believe you're outing me on the podcast right now about my fantasy team.
I was told to out you on the pod.
About halfway through the workday yesterday, I decided I didn't have the capacity to run a team properly, so I asked one of our social media managers if he wanted to go halvesies. I gave him my password.
Oh, really? It wasn't even you?
No, it wasn't me.
Who was it then? Out him.
You know what? No. I don't know what he did. What did he do? I put
some...
all my trust in my fellow coworker. I said, do you want to split the in? Because I can't make the draft. I want to be 50% in right now to my fantasy team. I don't want to give it my 100% all, but I will give it 50% of my energy.
Well, you're going to need to give it more energy by the sounds of how the draft went.
You got to give it 110%.
Always. Or what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
But I knew that I wouldn't be able to, so that's why I called in some backup.
Okay.
How many leagues do you do? just the one?
I'm in too many now. Now I have 3 because of
I'm
this
up to
one.
5, and it was a horrible idea.
So I've always been in one league.
You have 5?
5.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Mark.
Yeah, I can't say no. If somebody comes up with like a new format,
Yeah,
and I'm like, I gotta try it.
Exactly. Like what? Like Indy came to me and was like, "You want to join our league?" And I was like, "Absolutely." What am I gonna say? No. Of course I'm gonna join.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't like it. I wish I could just focus on one.
Same.
But it is what it is. I mean, I'm not gonna say no. So,
Correct.
now I got 3 new children to look after for the rest of this football season.
You made me really worried about how mine went now that you're saying all this crazy stuff. I didn't really
Yeah, I
even
mean,
look.
yeah, we don't need to get too sidetracked into.
No, I
fantasy
know.
football talk,
Now I'm thinking about it though. All right, we'll take a quick break so we can discuss this. We'll be back after this. At Oarsman Tri-State Subaru, we have a lot in common with the roster of the Philadelphia Union. There's no I in team. There's no I in Subaru either. Leave it all on the pitch. Leave your keys with us and go enjoy our comfortable service waiting area. Subaru and local Subaru retailers, like Oarsman Tri-State Subaru, are proud to support the Philadelphia Union. This means we're supporting Union players on the pitch and Union fans on the road with regular maintenance, test drives, and finding that perfect vehicle. Visit Oarsman Tri-State Subaru today. Learn more at tristatesubaru.com.
Subaru has teamed up with the Philadelphia Union and Greater Philadelphia area Subaru retailers to make a difference in our community and at Subaru Park. Together, we've helped hundreds of pets get adopted at the stadium. At Subaru Park, we've grown and donated thousands of servings of fresh organic produce to area food banks and helped give kids in our community access to the game they love. Together, Subaru and the Philadelphia Union are making a difference. Subaru, more than a car company.
We're back and we have questions. These are soccer-related questions to start. Surprise for you. Do you have a favorite chant, a soccer chant from around the world?
I don't know, to be honest.
It's kind of a tough one.
Yeah, that is.
See, Sage, again, I watched your other podcast that you did, and I found some disappointing news. Milan, you're a United fan?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, so like that's disappointing. We're Liverpool fans. So I'd assume it would be something
I got
Manchester
a Slack
United
message this
related.
morning. Bad news, United fan.
Oh, no. It would be something United, but I've never been to a Manchester United game, actually.
Really?
No, never. I've never been to England for some, I don't know how, but I never have, so I don't really know for a chant, to be honest. I've had a few chants about me, which I like, but...
That's good.
What were they?
Do you dare to sing them on the pod?
No, I'm not a singing guy at all. That is not me.
Good try, though, Mark.
Yeah, nice try.
All right, so Mike Wolffinger Tattoos wants to know why the shrug when scoring a goal.
I don't know. I mean, I definitely think I am, like I said, I do have 2 older brothers and a dad who I played against growing up, so I have always had kind of that edge, and I try to play with, that feeling like I'm very passionate and like I do have that chip on my shoulder a little bit. And then, of course, I think in everyone's life you have doubters and you have people who, maybe don't see the value in you that, you see in yourself or other people seeing you. So it's just a little, I don't know, like it's just, it's something for people, I guess, to see and make their own judgments for. And when you score goals, it is kind of hard to come up with celebrations. So it's just a little, reminder to people that, I'm here still and doing well.
There you go.
When did you start doing that celebration?
I've done it a couple times in the past, but I think now it'll stick a little bit more.
Maddie.mothersbaugh said, if you could play with any player in the world, who would it be?
Like current player?
Yeah.
Or
Well, we could do both. Current player or former player.
former player, I would choose Rooney. That was always my favorite player growing up. I loved everything about Rooney, to be honest. I shaved my head as a kid. I was fully devoted to the Rooney Manchester United train. That was me.
I think we need a photo of that.
Yeah, I got probably a bunch. Maybe not now, but I can get a couple. But yeah, I was fully committed to the Rooney train. I loved how he played. I still go back and watch Rooney highlights and old Manchester United games, back to the glory days.
There you go. Yeah.
Current player. I've actually been really lucky to play with some great players. I'll probably go with I guess he's not current anymore. I was gonna say my brother Brian. He's like newly retired, but
Not current then.
okay. All right, fine. I guess that doesn't count either. I'll go with Jeppe Tverskov from San Diego. he's a great player, first of all, but he really took me under his wing when I got to Denmark and, looked after me. And I got really close with his wife and their daughter and, their family. So I'll choose him.
There you go.
Hostway 3 wants to know the age-old question: who's better for you, Messi or Ronaldo?
I'm a Messi guy, to be honest.
Even as a United fan?
Yeah, I am. I mean,
Wow.
I love United, but I think for me, Messi is the greatest. I think it's by far also, to be honest.
That's shocking to me. I don't disagree with you,
Yeah.
but as a United guy, I mean,
No, I think for me, like, Ronaldo's amazing and, probably the best goal scorer ever, but I don't think anyone will ever come close to what Messi can do, to be honest.
yeah. I don't know how to say that one, so we can skip that one.
DeGrado Evan.
Yeah, DeGrado Evan. What
What's
is
your-
your favorite thing about being a striker?
I got you, Mark.
Scoring goals, I mean, for me, I'd love to do it since I was a little kid. So I love to score goals. I love to bring excitement to other people. I think, nothing's better than, scoring a goal for your team and really feeling like you contributed in a big way. I think, for a lot of players in the field, you contribute in a lot of ways, but it probably doesn't, it's not actually there where you can see it. So there's probably a lot of unsung heroes, but for me, when I score a goal, then I know like I directly impacted the game and helped my team.
Do you have an all-time favorite goal that you've scored?
The last one, I think. So I'll go.
Good
with that
answer.
One. Yeah.
Good
All
answer.
right.
Yeah.
Or the next one, even.
Yeah, I'll go with the next one.
There you
actually.
go.
There we go. That's better.
Again, this one doesn't make a ton of sense, but John 0316, how does it feel to be named after two massive Italian clubs?
Has everyone ever said that to you? Because there's about 4, 5, 6 questions.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not named after those clubs. I have the same name as
Right.
as a city in Italy, which has 2 clubs in it. But no, I mean, yeah, it's cool. Everyone always asked me growing up AC Milan or Inter Milan, and I didn't really have an answer because I wasn't a fan of either. But,
United, I don't know.
yeah, so, but no, it's cool, I guess. It's a fun fact. It's a good conversation starter, I guess.
There is, like, literally the next couple questions here. Because of your name, who do you root for in the Milan derby? Is there a story behind your name? Are you big fans of Italy?
Well, is there a story behind your name at all?
Yeah, it was my dad's name, and then my great-grandfather's name. It's a very popular Eastern European, Macedonian, for those who don't know. So it's a very popular name over there, and yeah, it's a family name, I guess you could say now.
That brings us to our next question. Can Kulovsky 10 Macedonian national team soon? Have you had any conversations with them? Has that ever been on your radar?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely on my radar. It would be, an honor for me to represent any national team. Of course, I'm American and Macedonian, but no, I haven't had any direct conversation with anyone from Macedonia, so I haven't really thought about it. I'm a very big realist, so until those conversations come, then I will address them when they come. But for now, I'd rather not daydream and think about it.
Fun by Faith asked, how did you choose your jersey number?
My grandma, my Macedonian grandma, so we call her Baba, that's grandma in Macedonian. I was on the phone with her coming from Norshall into San Diego, and we told her, she lives in San Diego, so we told her I was coming home, and she was all excited, and I was in the process of also picking a number, and I was like, what number should I be? And she picked 32 out of the blue, which is a really random number. But we were like, why? She's like, it's good luck. So then it stuck, and now that's probably the one I'll keep for a little while.
Your family seems pretty close. Has it always been that way?
Yeah, super close. My grandparents and my Macedonian grandparents and my uncle live in a separate little guest home in our same property, and then my grandma lives about 2 miles away in her own house, and then my aunt and uncle and their kids live 4 or 5 miles away. So we definitely are a very tight knit group of people.
Do you still have ties to that Macedonian culture? Do you have you been there? Do you eat Macedonian food often?
I haven't been there, but I do have big ties to it. We grew up in a Macedonian household, so we ate the food. We my grandparents, their English isn't great, to be honest, so that's doing them justice. But so a lot of the conversations with them and were through Macedonian, so I am very in touch with that side. But I would definitely say I grew up in America, so I wouldn't be I'm full-fledged Macedonian.
you said you're obviously close to the family. Have your brothers you said your parents have been out? They came out last weekend?
Yeah.
But have your brothers has anybody else been out to see you yet?
No, not yet. I talked to my sister a little bit, and I'm trying to get her to come out before the end of the season. So I think she's starting school soon. She's going back to school now. So, hopefully I'll get her out here in a couple days and, be able to show her around Philly.
Yeah, there you go.
Hit some of those bucket list places.
Yeah, exactly. She'd be a good one to do it with, too, because she loves exploring and seeing different things. So she'd probably be actually the best one, because the other two would just want to sit inside or go golf. They wouldn't want to they wouldn't want to go around and see all the museums and fun things that Philly has.
Take her on the big bus tour.
Yeah, my mom wanted to do that. She was like pushing my dad to get on. He's like, I'm not getting on this thing. So that's definitely something we got to try.
Andrew Paoli.
That's my roommate in college.
I figured you might know who that is.
Yeah, that's one of my best friends.
Who was your favorite teammate at UCLA?
That's for sure Andrew.
It's not one of your brothers?
No, definitely not. No, definitely not. Andrew and me are really close. He was my roommate. When my brother Brian left, I moved in with Andrew, and my brother Eric was still there. And then eventually a guy named Ben moved in, who, we got really close. We still have a roomies chat. So, yeah, I'll go with Andrew and Ben.
Do they tune into your games?
Yeah, all the time. They always text me. They're always watching, so they're a big part of my life, and definitely a couple of my best friends.
Did they come to your games when you were playing in San Diego? Or are they not in San Diego?
No, they're not. So Ben lives actually in the Bay Area now. He lives in LA now. What am I saying? He's from the Bay. They're both from the Bay Area, and then Andrew actually lives in Tennessee. So I think he'll actually be coming to the Nashville game. And
nice.
We'll see. I think we have a couple
Open
days
Cup.
off, so maybe I'll go see him during that time.
Nice. Noah 1223 wants to know, what surprised you the most about Philly and the team on and off the field?
I think how close the guys are. You think you really see that from the first day. That probably surprised me the most. It did seem like a real team, and there's not a lot of guys who are, or actually not anyone who's looked at as kind of this big profile player. It's a lot of guys who have a lot of mutual respect for each other, and everyone's required to do the same work and the same amount of running, the same amount of the stuff that we don't love to do, but everyone here is required to do it. It's not even a question. It's required for everyone. So I think that definitely creates a really close-knit team. And then what was the second part of that? It was
on and off the field as well.
Okay, off the field. Honestly, the weather has been amazing since I got here. I don't know if that's
It really
normal
has
or
been.
what, but it's been like perfect.
The month before you got here, it was ungodly hot for
so I don't know.
3 straight
I'm hoping
weeks.
it stays, because it's been like high 70s, low 80s, and blue skies every day. So
I feel like it's San Diego weather. This is what you go to San Diego for.
Yeah, it is. So, that's been very nice.
Nice.
You lucked out. This is the best time of the year to be in around Philadelphia.
I timed it on purpose.
It was
for
perfect.
this.
Seriously.
Exactly.
I would say that
Yeah,
September, October, best time in Philly.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Aki B. New Rule 101. I crushed that. Thank you. Who has the most finesse in training, nutmegs and whatnot? Who's been tough to go against?
Most finesse. I mean, Cavan's always trying to make everyone, to be honest. But most finesse, Indy. He's pretty crafty, really good with the ball. He's really hard to take the ball from, because he is very good with it. So he's very crafty. I'd probably go with Indy.
Who's somebody that you've connected really well with here in Philly so far?
Honestly, a lot of guys. I think I've gotten really close with a lot of guys. I've tried to, interact with everyone as much as I can. It's only been a couple weeks, but, I tried to have a lot of conversations. Me and Jacob get along really well. We have the same agent, which definitely helps. So he introduced us together, and we, went and had dinner. And, my girlfriend met his wife, and we met their kids and stuff. So that's definitely someone I got really close with right away.
Nice.
After the match, we posted a little bit of a clip of it, but you and Kai were talking about each other and the conversation you had on the field. He said that he'd already connected really well with you on the field. I want to talk about that free kick and the audible, as you called it. What was that like? I know you talked about it a little bit, but can you walk us through that again? Because I thought that was super interesting, that he had the trust in you so early on, and you had the trust in him, not knowing each other all that well, to just say, hey, let's do this.
Yeah. I definitely I agree with him. I love playing with Kai, and also I've also gotten really close with Kai off the field, so we have a great relationship already. And I think anytime that you get to a new team, you immediately click with certain guys, and I think we definitely have. It also helps that he's this assist guy, provider, and I'm a goal scorer, so I think that's a good combination to have. But yeah, I think we also both see that we're good players, and we think about the game in similar ways. So it was just a situation where I drew the foul, and it was pretty close. It was more of like a finesse type of free kick, and when we were on the ball and looking down and talking it over and stuff before the wall was set, we just assumed I'd be hitting it because it would favor a right-footed player. And then when we looked up and we saw like what was happening, then we were all standing under the ball, and we're trying to hide it because we don't want to telegraph we're coming up with something here, because no one probably thought we were going to do something clever like that. And then he was like, maybe it's more for a lefty, and I was like, yeah. And we just on the fly came up with a little play just to get around the wall that's in the way, and it favored a lefty. And for me, I trust Kai. Like, you can see the quality he has, so I definitely had no problem with him hitting the free kick. We were just trying to find the best solution to create the best way to get the ball in the goal. So it worked out really well, and it was something we never talked about that before. We really did just come up with it on the fly there. So I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah, he said it was something they practiced in training 2 years ago, maybe, that he just remembered.
I guess so. Yeah.
That's cool. S. Barry 86 wants to know, if you could have one animal as a pet, what would you choose and why?
Do you have any pets?
I don't. I mean, my family has a couple dogs, but
what kind?
A Maltese Yorkie, a little guy named Tucker. He's crazy. he's running around like the guard dog. He thinks he's the guard dog, and he's tiny. And then we have a pit bull husky named Max, and he's the best. He's
like
pit bull husky.
Two total opposite kind of dogs.
Yeah, literally. And Tucker loves barking at Max.
That's funny.
Any pet, if it wouldn't kill me, I would love to have some sort of I would love like a gorilla or
oh wow,
yeah, something something to guard the house.
I honestly didn't think that's where we were going. But a gorilla as a pet would be wild.
Or like a tiger.
Yeah, a tiger would be cool.
Yeah, like a lion or something dangerous.
Did you watch Tiger King during?
I did.
When it was big during COVID.
I did watch Tiger King.
Yeah, wild.
I think everyone in the world watched Tiger King.
Yeah, I would need guarantees that it wouldn't kill me. That's the first thing. I wouldn't just trust
you
that
need
it
to
would
sign.
I wouldn't
sign
trust,
on the dotted line.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust that it would just not do anything. I
think that's fair.
need some
Not
sort of
vicious.
guarantees here, some way.
So like I said, some fans asked if you had a favorite NFL team, if you could become an Eagles fan. Wolf's Moon 02 asked, do you have a favorite Eagle? And if you don't, who's your favorite NFL player?
Do I have a favorite Eagle?
Whoever he drafts.
Yeah. No, it's a great team, and there's great players. I do appreciate players now more than teams, so I do love watching great players. I love Saquon. I can also, as an athlete, appreciate what they do on a day-to-day basis. I love Saquon. I love Devontae Smith. I think he's like a guy. You guys know all the nicknames for everyone. I do like him a lot just because he's different. Also, he's not your typical really big, thick, strong type of wide receiver. He kind of has to use his brain a little bit more, which I guess I kind of see a little bit of myself in that. And so, I definitely like him a lot. Favorite player in the NFL? Probably not. I love great players. I love Mahomes, to be honest. I love watching Mahomes. Like, he's great. And no one can say he's not.
He's a winner. Yeah, he's good.
And he's amazing. Hurts is very good too, so I'm not saying that, but I do love great players. So I love Mahomes. I love Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. I do love the players who keep I want to watch them every week. So I'm always going to have a Bills game on to see him play or watch Mahomes or the Eagles. I want to watch greatness. So I do definitely appreciate a lot of players in the league.
Good answer.
You said you haven't tried a cheesesteak yet as of now, but maybe by the time we release this pod, you will have done. But Ricky Bobby 1006 wants to know, have you tried water ice yet? Or as he put it here, water ice?
No, I have not.
That'll be next time.
What's water ice?
It's Italian ice, maybe?
Okay, so it's shaved ice.
It's a little bit...
two different things.
Oh, man.
That's the best way to describe it, though, if you don't know what water ice is.
No. Shaved ice is far different than water ice. Far different.
You're right, it is, but I don't know. How else would you describe it, Sage?
It is, like, have you heard of Rita's Italian Ice?
I have heard of Rita's.
Yeah, it's in the name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I know what Rita's is.
That's water ice.
Okay, that's water ice.
So I'm not crazy.
We
for
cracked the code. It's not shaved ice, Mark.
I mean, it's like, you could call it shaved ice.
I said Italian ice.
Listen, I worked at a shaved ice shack on the boardwalk throughout my childhood, and I watched that ice block spin around, and then that's way different than what I'm getting at.
Well, I need to
Rita's.
try it, it sounds like.
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
It's an area
A
staple
Philly
as well.
classic.
I need to go get a cheesesteak and then get a, what's it called again?
Water ice.
Water ice.
And a
some
soft
and
pretzel
a
while
soft
you're at
pretzel.
it.
That's probably not the greatest health combination for
Yeah,
me.
Maybe
wait
when
for
those
that-
couple of days off.
Yes.
Yeah, wait for the weekend off.
Yeah, I'll wait
Sorry,
for a
Bradley.
wait for a little break.
By Steve Martin wants to know, are you going to miss the Sea Lions in La Jolla?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, San Diego's my home. I love San Diego. I'll always be going back there in the off season for family and to train and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll miss the Sea Lions. I'll miss the beaches and stuff like that. But you know, it is what it is, and you know, I'm happy to be in Philly now.
Angela Reza, she asked street tacos or Philly cheesesteak, but you can't answer that yet. So we'll have to follow up.
I love some tacos, so that's gonna be tough to beat, to be honest.
My last one is going to be from my guy, Shane_Michael. Big fan of the pod. Works at Subaru Park on game days. Beach days in San Diego or hikes in Salt Lake City? I think I know the answer to this already, but...
No, I'm gonna go hikes.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm not a beach guy. I didn't grow up on the beach. I grew up in Escondido. And anyone who knows San Diego, we're in the
Not the
valley.
beach.
We're in North County. We're not, I'm not a La Jolla kid who grew up like going to school and then ditching class and going to the beach. Like I grew up in the valley.
Yeah.
So I'm not like a beach guy. I don't like this. I'm not a big sand guy. I'm definitely more of like a valley, mountain guy in nature type of person. So
I looked up other famous people from Escondido. Randy Johnson, Major League Baseball pitcher, apparently.
what? I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, that's what Google told me. That's what
Great
Google
research,
told me.
Mark.
Thanks. And the guy that created MySpace, Tom.
Well,
That's what Google
I gotta
told
get connected with these guys.
Me. Yeah,
somehow.
correct. You do.
Wow, you're not a beach guy.
No, I'm not a beach guy. I mean, I guess I'm like kind of tan, and I'm from San Diego, and I've had long hair, so people all probably assume that. But no, I'm not. I didn't grow up like going surfing and doing all that. I was, my dad did construction, so in the summer I was doing construction. I wasn't going to the beach. I was, working hard. So a little different mindset. I think San Diego is also really big, so I think a lot of people think of it as a beach town. But I went to the beach very rarely as a kid.
So you mentioned you did a little bit of construction during the summer. If you weren't a soccer player, what would you be?
Probably a contractor. I mean, I wasn't great at it. I'm not saying I can like fix stuff. Don't call me to come fix your home or something. If something breaks, don't call me. But we definitely helped them as much as we could as not kids, but when we got a little bit older, that was something that we did do occasionally. And he's taught us how to do little things around the house, and that's probably the path I would have gone down and started taking over the family business at some point.
Well, you're not a contractor, you're a soccer player, and you have a couple of games left in this regular season. What are you looking forward to most?
Yeah, just the next game. I think we're in a good. We had a little bit. I think as I came in and we had a little bit of a slide there, and we really bounced back really well against Chicago, and now we know we have a huge game against Cincinnati. So I'm really looking forward to that game. It'll be a lot of fun. It's away, so it'll be my first real away MLS experience with Philly. So I'm really excited to go. It's a big game, first against second, and we want to take it and really go for the supporter shield. So I'm really looking forward to this game.
All right, you heard him. We have a game this weekend, very important one, but that's all we have. Thanks for watching, and thanks for hanging out with us today.
Yeah, I had a blast. Thanks, guys.